Live. Here we go. It is, what is today? Wednesday? Wednesday live. Evening for some of you, early evening for others, depending on where you are. But welcome. Everybody welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your support. Couple physical fitness posts that we'll talk about shortly. And the firearms post, that's one I really want to talk about. That one was good. Then I got a couple questions for all of you. But again, Semper Fi, my friends, welcome to another live. If somebody can put it on the monitor for me, and we get hot. It is hot. Been doing a little bit of traveling, so kind of all over the place. How's that look? So first things first, what does it say down here? Can you, I don't know what it is. Can you look at the camera right here? Whoa. Can you look at the camera right here, please? The phone and see what that says. Nothing? Good. Are we live? Are we good? Okay, so, all right, Doc Holliday. Yes, we must be live. Doc Holliday, Chala, Mike Smith, Semper Fi, all y'all. Get ready. Great show. We got a damn good show for you. Anybody know where that came from? We are live. Got a great show for you today. It is Wednesday. It's hot where I am right now. How's the weather where you are? And of course, Doc says Hodge twins. Love them guys. I don't want to steal their stuff, but I wish I could. I wish I would have thought of it before they did, because I love those two. Funny, hilarious. And great content. Is that you, Ray? 1775. Ara. Good to see you. Wednesday, early evening, late for some. That's a question I do want to ask. So, Brian, 106. Wow, that's hot. All right, I won't complain anymore. It's a damn good show. So it just finished raining here and it's humid like no one's business. That's terrible too. So the timeline that we use, 8 o'clock East Coast, which makes it, what, 8, 7, 6, 5 o'clock West Coast, and everybody kind of in between. Texas is 7 o'clock. Hawaii's like 2 o'clock. So trying to reach everybody. It's a work day for some of you. I'm on vacation. So is this a good time to do this? The East Coast is really the only one I'm worried about because we have been running about 2 hours. The first one, I think we did an hour, then an hour and a half, and then it's just so much fun. Look at Mike Smith, 8 o'clock here in Michigan. So that's all the way East Coast. Is it late for you, Mike? Can you hang with us for 2 hours? 55 have? I don't know what you're saying. OG streetcar racer, street racer. Good to see you again. Semper Fi, engineers, backbone. Hurrah. Any day. Gary, what's up, Gary? Good to see you. Chala 810 in Virginia. So again, East Coast, West Coast. I think we try to find the best time for everybody, which again, we're not going to get everybody. Arizona doesn't do daylight savings, so they kind of do whatever they want anyway. Arizona. Ronnie Miller says, good evening, Marines and Docs. Devil Docs. And here for the inspiration and motivation. That I'm here for inspiration and motivation from you all. Mike Smith, give it the best shot. All right, try to hang with us, brother. Hopefully we keep it interesting. So you do want to stay. 10 o'clock is late, way past my bedtime. A couple different topics we want to talk about today. One is firearms. A lot of great comments when I said, what is your weapon of choice? So I do want to touch on that. Doc says, I did not see the new stickers up on the website, but I got the cassette. They went up. They're up now, Doc. They went up after. Probably shortly after the show, yeah? Oh, after you texted. They're all up. 1911, Rev, Kelly. So that 1911 seemed to be the favorite amongst all the pistols. Anyway, the 1911. So kind of put my 9mm to shame, my Beretta 9mm. Someone even mentioned that something like, don't ever admit that you said that you liked the 9mm, the Beretta 9mm. I liked it. So here's the thing, Ochala. Picked up a new pair of running shoes and ran 3 miles just because I felt it motivated in them. New piece of any gear can help motivate. Absolutely. Get new gear, get new gym gear, get new PT gear. Makes you want to get after it. So definitely, nice job. What's your run time right now, Charla? If you don't mind sharing that, your 3-mile run time. And your question is always, everyone's question should be, what's the max? How do I get 100 points? Doc, just got an MP5 22 LR for the kids. I bought a couple 22s for my kids as well. Pistols, no rifles yet. To say, so it's fun to shoot and cheaper on ammo. Yes, they're easy. The slide's really easy. 22s, I like them. High Ridge Handyman on the Beretta PX4 Storm 9mm. So I don't know if that comment was directed more towards the Beretta 9mm or 9mm overall. And here's what I will say about it. So weapons in the military. I didn't fire a lot of weapons prior to joining the Marine Corps. I didn't fire any, a couple BB guns, and that's just because my brothers were shooting at me, so I'd try to shoot back at them. So BB guns, that's about it. As all I could think. I shot a 22 one time, a 22 pistol. Again, growing up, this is all before the Marine Corps, so I wasn't exposed to any weapons except these babies right here. So my introduction to weapons and firearms was the Marine Corps, and of course the M16A2. So that's what I became very familiar with. Obviously in boot camp, and then again, remember I didn't have MCT prior to going in. So it was the M16A2 as far as long rifles. Shot that forever, qualled many times, and then it changed over to the M4. Love the M4. Love everything about it, especially being a bigger guy getting in and out of the Humvees, and especially the new vehicles that we have, the Buffaloes and all them. It's even tighter now, and with all the extra gear, the sappy plates, you're just that much bigger. So a short rifle, a long rifle that can be made shorter, was great. I loved it. Loved everything about it, and its accuracy and again, post iron sights, right? I know we got some hardcore iron sights. That's all we need. The scopes help with a lot of things, not just shooting, but also just to observe the area. So I like the sights that the Marine Corps issued me. 9mm was the same way. And I qualled early I think I was a corporal, and I was able to qual on the pistol. We're in the field for something, I don't know, it's kind of a hookup for whoever else was there, but we ran a range in a field in Hawaii on the Big Island, out in the lava. We just walked it up and taped it off, and we had coaches and Stephen 2IC, and we got qualified. So that was my introduction to the 9mm. So I grew up with those two weapons for my entire career. Hadn't bought my own personal weapon until I retired. And of course, I wanted to get a 9mm and a M4, and I did. A couple of each, a couple 45s, a couple shotguns for, home invasions, for safety. And now I'm just stocking up, prepping. What else? And I just recently got a hunting rifle, which I tried to do a video on, but remember I got banned from 24 hours. So I was on restriction 24 hours for showing that hunting rifle on, wasn't even live. Did we go live or we did go live? That's why we got banned. It got shut off, those of you that were with us. And all it's gonna do is just actually just take it apart, clean it, put it back together, show a hunting rifle, those of you that were there. So that's my exposure to the rifles, and the point of that short on what is your weapon of choice. Now, throughout my time in the Marine Corps, of course, met tons of guys who are all over weapons and what's better and what shoots better, smoother, trigger pull, and all that stuff that, again, my training was from the coaches on the rifle range. Now that I'm out and don't have those, I can't go to the Army and get those. I got to create my own armory. So that was a little homework for me as well, hearing from the best. You guys know what works. You guys know what firearms are the best, the most accurate, the kickback, and everything involved in shooting. In the Marine Corps, you have no choice. That's what they issued you. And know, for those of you that don't know, who aren't in the military, you can't bring your own personal weapons to combat anyway. So you're going to shoot what the Marine Corps gives you. And of course, we have our saws and our 240s and the big guns. Someone put their weapon of choice was, those, I like the funny ones on the weapons of choice. Howitzer was on there. Your hands, K-bar. A lot of good comments on your weapon of choice. McMatt, your mind. There was a lot of good comments. So check those out. So again, that's my question to all of you. David just asked, what's my thought on a P320? I have a P220, which I really like, a 6-hour 220. I do like that one. It's very comfortable. And then I recently just bought a 320. And I've only fired that one once, but I do like it. It's comfortable. I don't have huge hands or anything, but it's obviously got to be comfortable. On my 220, I have an extended mag. Love that one because that is a whole lot more comfortable. The kick, not a big deal. Even with the rifles, all my M4s right now are M&Ps. And I got a couple of them just because how they look. One's coyote and black. The other one's a green color. It's I don't like metallic green, and it looks cool. The hand guards, and I'm not one of those guys that I don't have attachments all over the place where you can't even see the rifle anymore. Not yet anyway. I do obviously want a good scope. I don't need a bunch of other stuff on it. And if you remember from a post a long time ago, I don't remember with this short, I remember it was about the gear. What kind of extra gear? Remember I went on a little kick about extra gear, or your favorite piece of gear. That's what it was. Poncho liner was my very favorite piece of gear, issued gear. And then I kind of did go a little further with, I'm not one of those guys. If the Marine Corps didn't issue it to me, I didn't need it. There's one item that I bought, and this was in Camp Wilson, one of the caches that we happened to be at. It was in the winter, and it was cold. It was freezing cold. At the time, we still had the big, fat, cotton sleeping bags. And they just got in those new Arctic, and they squeezed in the compression sack. It became about this big once you stuffed it all in there and pulled the straps tight. So I did it for two reasons. One, to stay warmer, because once that cotton one got wet, those of you who had it, you know what I'm talking about. Remember when that baby got wet? It took days to dry, weeks to dry. It was big, it was cumbersome. It just wasn't a good sleeping bag at all, heavy. So I ditched that. Once that PX out there in Camp Wilson got in those new small, again, Coyote compression sack ones, then you can zip it up, bought that. The only piece of gear really that I can remember that I bought. And it's not because I'm cheap. I figured if the Marine Corps wanted me to have it, they'd issued it to me. Even boots. For a long time still. Today, I'm sure everyone wants to get the high speed, the Nike, every time we deploy, you're getting all those unauthorized boots because they are lighter and they're faster. They make you kill better. Whatever the reason is. The Marine Corps does now. Do we have the best gear in the world? No, I'm not saying that at all. We know we don't. The phrase, what's the phrase from the cheapest bidder? How's that phrase go? Our gear, the gear we purchase. But I don't. Never have. I didn't have all kinds of extra pouches and stuff all over my flak and Kevlar and stuff hanging out and feathers and whistles. Again, if the Marine Corps think I needed it, then they issued it to me. Even that, some of the stuff that you did issue wouldn't take that either. It's my little rant on the gear. You know what I'm talking about. All right, E9 Marines with the bachelor's degree, it's an interesting question. I might have missed some comments in there, but yes, by E9 you should have some sort of degree. Springfield XDM 3.8 is nice. Concealed carry, 18 in the mag, nice. 1 in the pipe, daily carry. URAH. $23 and change for 3 miles. 23 and change for 3 miles. First 2 miles are 7:30. That's a great pace for the first 2 miles, Charlie. 23 and some change, that's good. You want it to be lower, obviously in boot camp. 18 minutes still a first class, 3 6-minute miles. I told y'all before I never got it. 2 times I came close, boot camp, 18:30, DI school, 18:30. Boot camp one, I blame the drone instructors. He wasn't even from our platoon, but he came up right before the final PFT and said, which one of you nasties want to get a 300 PFT? 18-minute 3 miles. Of course, a few of us, most of us probably raised our hand. He said, you stay with me, I'll get you in under 18 minutes. San Diego, those of you that don't know, all along the flight line. Start, go halfway out, 1.5 miles, turn around, big L shape all the way back. Kind of a boring course, but you can kind of see where you got to go. I like that about it. This drone instructor said, stay with me, you'll get under 18 minutes. So I did the whole way, best shape of my life, going out, turnaround point, felt pretty good, thought he was going to kick it in a little bit on the way back, wasn't even paying attention to the time. I don't even remember if they called it out in boot camp. Maybe towards the end. Got to the turnaround point, still staying with them. There's only about 4 or 5 of us that were hanging with them. We kind of left most everybody else. Flying, feeling good. I was like, I got this. And I just got maxed out on pull-ups and crunches, so it was going to be a 300 PFT. Can't beat it. Motivated. Kept running. Then they start calling out times. And I swear I heard like a 17:30, and we still had a long way to go. I was like, man. And the drone instructor even kind of kicked it up a little bit. He's like, let's go. Well, that's why you said you were going to pace us. Stayed with them, still stayed with them. 17:40, 17:50, 18 minutes, and they're yelling at from far away. Like, man, you can see the finish line. 18:30, 30 seconds past a perfect score. Thanks, drone instructor. Wish I could have thrashed him. And again, what are you going to say? That y'all should have run faster. Yes, got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice work, Chala. So, point of that story is, nice job. 23 minutes is respectable. Get it down. Keep going. All right, Jake Gadwell says, what are your thoughts on the PFT versus CFT? My highest PFT time was 2:75, but I maxed out the CFT my entire Marine Corps. So, here's my thoughts on the CFT. I think it's great. I was so happy when they came out with it because your fitness level, a PFT is not enough. It doesn't measure your combat fitness. So, because you're not in combat in PT shorts and running shoes and a t-shirt. So I never agreed with that being your level of physical fitness. You get promoted off that, and it's very important. The CFT was added. Again, I 100% agree with it. I think it's great because it measures combat fitness, which is a little different. But to your point, Jake, yes, I would always max out the CFT. So maybe, and I never maxed out the PFT. So what's the difference there? Again, it's a different measure of physical fitness. So I think, and maybe they probably are going to adjust the scoring, how they score the CFT, maybe not. Either way, I think it's a great measure of combat fitness. And you do both, right? So you can't beat it. PFT the first half, CFT the second half of the year, or vice versa. Either way, you do both of them in 1 year. Great measure of physical fitness. Excuse me, Steven said we had an ADI drop out of a run. We never saw him again after that. I would hope not. He shouldn't be out there if he can't hang with the run. Brett says, I was getting out when the CFT was getting started. It's great, Brett. Check it out. And you can do it by yourself. You need a couple items. You need a buddy, battle buddy to carry, because there is some, and again, the whole point of the CFT was it didn't relate to combat. The PFT didn't. The CFT does. Buddy carry, buddy drag, throwing a hand grenade, low crawl, high crawl, ammo cans, running with ammo cans, ammo can lift. Again, lifting it up to the bunker, resupply. So everything related to combat, again, I think is great. Carlos, yes, please post it up again. How do I get my cardio up quickly, says Ball. Will added muscle affect my cardio? Yes. When I was working out a lot, I was actually getting kind of big. It is much harder to run. And then DI school and the schools I go to, I'll drop weight just so I could hang on a run. So added muscle will slow you down or just make it harder to run. You're not going to be as fast. So how can you improve your run time or your cardio? Drop some weight and run. You just got to run. Everyone always told me, or I heard over the years, to improve your PFT time, your 3-mile time, to improve that, running 3 miles constantly, but also sprints. Can anyone verify that? Sprints will help your 3-mile run. And I hope so, because that's what I would do, and that's what I would advise Marines to do. Do some sprints. The fartlek, my favorite run, just because I like saying fartlek, but that's the run, sprint, run. And it's best on the track. You can do it anywhere, but it's best on the track. Sprint the straightaways, which is 100 yards or so, and then jog the curves. But you got to jog the curves very, very slow, and it's hard the first couple miles or laps. You just don't. Sprint, jog, sprint. Do that for 3 miles. Big O says the PFT and CFT are equally important. PFT for the endurance, CFT for the speed and agility. Like in Afghanistan, where you had use patrol, for 12 clicks and had to be ready for a fight at any minute. Absolutely. Big O nailed it right there. So PFT for endurance, right, that builds your cardio, and then the CFT. So again, combat related. You are on patrol for 12 clicks, right, 10 miles or so. It doesn't matter. You're constantly on the move, patrolling, and then getting a firefight on your way home. Are you going to be able to do all those things that we talked about, the ammo can lift, the resupply, the buddy drag, everything that you need to do? So great addition, the CFT. I think it's great. Carlos, did I miss your question again? Carlos, if you could put that back up there. There it is. Do E9s qualify to transfer to the Marine Corps officer program and rank faster than the above average meritorious promotion, like immediately, or does age disqualify certain arrangements? So do E9s qualify to transfer to the officer program? Any 05 and up, E5 and up. So once you reach a rank of sergeant, you can put in for those officer programs. E9s are not disqualified, so they also can. I don't know how many E9s would, but would they rank faster than the above? No. Once you transfer over to the officer side, you're in 01 like everyone else. You start. Everyone's equal. And does that have to do with the? Did you ask about the degree? I think somebody asked something about a degree. So yes, to become a commissioned officer, you have to have a degree. If you go to the warrant officer program, you don't have to have it immediately, but you do have to earn your degree. Absolutely, brother. God bless you as well. That's why we're here. I seen a master sergeant go through OCS. I've heard about an E9 or two, and don't quote me on the story, but I think it has been done. I think the thought process is, though, why would you? Because by the time you're in E9, most people, you're near retirement. E9 would take a pay going officer. In the beginning, Mike, so E9 pay versus a O1 pay, yes, you take a pay cut for a little while. But once you reach major, you're making E9 pay. So it would pay off in the end if that's why you're doing it, for the money. Noah, good evening, Sergeant Major. I got an OTH for Piston Hot and Cannabis. I was a young 0331. And I was wondering if it was possible to get a waiver to get back in. Yes or no? I love the Corps. Wanted to be a lifer. I'm going to need power very soon. So, Noah, it happens. Can you get back in? Can you get a waiver to get back in? There's a waiver for everything, but it's going to depend on the needs of the Corps at the time. We say that all the time, the needs of the Corps. So if the Corps needs you, then I'm pretty sure they can work out a waiver somewhere. Drugs is probably going to be the hardest one, or probably no felony or something like that, of course. But you got an OTH, and I'm not the expert on that, but I will tell you that there's a waiver for everything. So I say get with your recruiter first, and it's going to be a long process, because here's the thing: Marines that get out on an honorable discharge, it's hard for them to get back in. So it's never quit or give up. If that's your really is your dream, you got to stay with it, and you're going to have to wait probably years. Stay in shape, do everything you're supposed to do, be ready if that time ever comes. Rumors had it during Desert Storm, they were letting in felons with 1 or 2 felonies. So is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Pray on it. Would love to see it. People make mistakes. And we lose some good Marines because of sometimes the zero tolerance policy. But good luck to you, right? Let us know. Keep us kind of updated. Talk to the recruiter. That's your first step, though. Talk to the recruiter. Stay drug-free. You see, I just got handed the sticker set. It is up on our page now. See if I can do this without messing it up. These are in the vault. I'm on a delay when I'm watching, so I can't see if it's showing you yet. There's the stickers. Production team, CC7, the family. This is what they came up with, as we showed last time. If I try too hard, they're all going to slide off. That's it. Check the description in the link in the description of the page, and you can order all these. We're traveling, but we can get the stickers to you. The shirts, the lanyards, I think that's gonna be on hold for a couple more weeks, but stickers readily available. Get online. Appreciate those of you after Saturday's live. We got a bunch of orders, so appreciate you guys. Get it out there. Help us spread the word, spread the love. Yeah, I'll just leave them right there for a while. Nope. Carlos says, that's interesting. So E9s can transfer to the Marine Corps Officer Program regardless of the strict recruiter age certifications. Now I don't know, Carlos, what strict recruiter age? So 31, what's the age requirement to come in? The max age is 31. So maybe because they're already a Marine. Again, everything's waiverable. Do you know what E9 that's trying to do that, Carlos? Which way? I spun it around and showed them. Am I going the right way? Middle-aged man. That's not middle-aged man. Doc, were you here Saturday? Military-aged male. Love him. Thanks, Gary. Noah says, thank you, Sergeant Major. Really appreciate your input. Definitely going to do everything I can to get back in. Good luck to you, brother, for real, Noah. Keep us on. Keep us posted. Let us know. I strongly believe there's a waiver for everything. Ooh, that's what we can talk about later, too, is the tattoo waiver. Just I'll post on LinkedIn a female Army captain, prior enlisted, someone. She got the leg tattoos. They do the traditional, and it's a big ordeal. You have to be recommended and approved by the Samoan community. very prestigious to earn that right, and she earned it. So she got the leg tattoos, which is above their, below their kneecaps, all the way up to their thighs. For the females, the men is below the kneecap, all the way up to their waist. And again, it's truly an honor to be recommended or authorized to receive those tattoos, and they do it with the bamboo and the tap, 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 tap. Painful. Men take, I think, 10 to 12 hour days, like 2-3 days. Hers took, I'll get to that. So she got her hands tattooed for the same reason. She was chosen as one of the females, a leader in their culture, in their community. Again, all about it. I think it's amazing to be selected to be able to do that. It's an honor and a privilege. So her next, after her legs, was to tattoo her hands. Same design. It's like a bird. Birds fly away and they come back. Stars. They all have meanings. And the elder, if you will, he's the one that decides what tattoos you'll get. No machines, no guns. Again, traditional, dates back probably hundreds of years. She was authorized to do that by her Samoan community. So she did it from the bottom of her fingernail all the way up to her wrist. Each finger, hand, design, looks good, looks very, very cool. But it's against Army policy. So she requested a waiver, right? Waiver for everything. Tattoo waivers, I know in the Marine Corps, are very, very difficult. Took my daughter and I about a year to get her in because she had a wrist tattoo right where your watch goes. So, and that's why the women in my family get it there. So if you ever do need a cover, you just put a watch on, you can't even see it. Little bamboo, awesome. There's meaning behind it. It's a family thing. She got it along when our kids turn 18, they get it. Yes. Thank you.
It's bend, don't break.
Means bend, don't break. Bamboo is tough as hell. That's why they get it. Bend, but don't break. So she got it prior to knowing for a fact she wanted to be a Marine. She was torn around. She got accepted to a couple different colleges. One day she came home and said, "Dad, I want to be a Marine." Because all about it. Of course, my wife said, "What'd you say to her?" It was all her. She decided on her own, of course, we're going to support anything any of my kids want to do. So we're all about it. Then we started talking to the recruiter, and they did the whole package. She was good. Physical fitness. She was already ready to go. 4 years of JROTC, killing it, ready to go. Knew she's going to be a good Marine. But her tattoo was like a 1/32nd of an inch too low. Because they measure it. There's a line that they draw, and then they measure from the line on your wrist to where the tattoo starts. And it was, I'm telling you, it was a hair too low. So we had to request a waiver. And even that got turned down the first time. Even the recruiter's like, "No, it'll never happen, a tattoo waiver." Tattoo waivers are very hard. Once you go in, 16, 17? So at that time, tattoo waivers they weren't happening. But we went back and forth and, called some buddies, our RTR, Sergeant Major at the time. He was familiar with it and the standards. And long story short, she finally got it waived. It took months. The whole thing took a very long time. And that was a wrist tattoo. When she wears a watch, you can't even see it. The Army, however, on this female captain, authorized it. She's got full hand tattoos, all the way to the cuticle of her fingernails. Authorized it. Completely changed. Now, I'm all about waivers, but that's changing the uniform policy completely. And some of the comments in the feed were like, "What's next? Nose rings, earrings? Who knows where they're going to stop?" And the question I always ask is, when the Army does something crazy like that, the other services allow something like that, are the Marines right behind them? Are we going to follow the same thing? Now, some of the other comments were, "That really sucks," because I know some good Marines that had to get out because of tattoos. So that's such a sticky subject, the tattoo policy, and I know they probably meet on it all year long, every year to try to get it right. Remember when I came in, everybody was tatted up. The first sergeant on the depot when I was a recruit, he had full sleeve tattoos on his neck and everything. Obviously a good Marine, made it to first sergeant, and he was our company first sergeant on the depot, right? Went on to be a sergeant major. Great dude, great Marine. So are we splitting hairs on this? Or are we, there's just, at the same time, there's got to be a standard. Just like all the other things that we allow to not hurt somebody's feelings, right? We're in an era right now of not wanting to hurt anybody's feelings, not wanting to get looked down upon, not standards. Bottom line, they're standards. When you join the Marine Corps, you know the rules at the time. I had a Marine when I was checking into 3rd Marines. Checking into 3rd Marines. In fact, it was when one of my other daughters was getting her bamboo tattoo. The Marine sitting in a chair, getting a sleeve tattoo. Tell he was Marine. We're in Hawaii. I didn't even introduce myself. I was just talking to him. I hadn't even checked in yet. I was a new sergeant major going to 3-3. And I would say, wow, that's an interesting tattoo. That's a whole sleeve tattoo. He's like, yup. I was like, wow, that's it's pretty crazy. You're a Marine, you're active duty? He said, yup. I was like, are sleeve tattoos allowed? He said, nope. I said, but you're doing it anyway. So what rank are you? He said, Lance Corporal. Probably going to get NJP for this. So yeah, I'm sure you are. It was a whole sleeve tattoo. It was just the outlines. He was already starting to get some filled in. I said, you're going to continue with the whole thing? You're just going to do it? He said, yep. Guess what battalion he belonged to? Same one I was checking into. He was a 3-3 Marine. And sure enough, he got NJP'd shortly after. Once it all came out. It was, try to go sleeves down as much as possible, but obviously we're going to see it. So he did end up getting NJP'd for it because that was the policy. Crazy. Crazy what people will do. But again, you know the rules, you know the policies, right? When you come in, the beards and the turbans and all the things that we are slowly starting to allow, that's what sets us apart. That's what sets the Marine Corps apart, because we have those rules and standards, and we are different than everyone else.
And it's not your policies, it's not your rules.
And yeah, it's not our rules, right? Do you think I wanted to NJP that kid and didn't even meet him yet? That's the rules, that's the policies. You know them when you come in. So if you want to grow a beard, you go to a service that allows you to grow a beard. The Marine Corps doesn't. But again, are we giving in to these things that are not going to make us so special anymore? I don't know. All right. Carlos, I missed. All I see right now is in the Marine Corps. Chavez says, speaking of waivers, what do you think of the Sikh Marine getting a waiver for his turban? Pretty much, yeah, I didn't agree with it, and nothing against him and his religion and his turban, and nothing personal whatsoever. But he went to boot camp knowing these are the rules. We don't allow turbans, we don't allow beards. Again, he fought it enough. Politicians somewhere gave in. Nothing personal. The rules of being a Marine are this, period. Now, do some of our rules and regulations need to be changed? Sure, we can definitely change with the times, but after it's discussed, after it's been boarded, and a board is kind of a battle I'm dealing with now, get the input of everybody. Don't just plan in a box and make a new policy. Get everyone's input, get some feedback, hear it from the boots on the ground, the ones who are actually doing the work, working with the individuals that it's going to affect. Jared says, I have so many tattoos, they're not individual anymore, over 60 tattoos. You regret every one. Why is that, Jared? Always interested to hear people's story about their tattoos. Robert Sterling, you can have a beard while in, idiot. In what? Sterling, are you Navy or... or on the weekends. Must be a sailor or Army now. Muscle flex. Hurrah, Diego. All right, so talked about the firearms. Talked about how do we get on that woman with the tattoos. Hurrah. How we get on the tattoo lady? Carlos, sir, what are your thoughts regarding the Marine Corps policy change orders, which was changing rank promotion, slower to all military occupational specialty, infantry style? Marine Corps policy change orders. Changing orders, which was changing rank promotion, slower to all military, to all MOSs, career infantry style. Not sure if I understand the question. If there's a policy change on orders, which changes rank promotion slower to all MOSs, we did talk quite a bit on promotions last live. And again, it's the needs of the Corps, the cutting scores, how many sergeants they need in 0 through 11 sergeants, boat spaces, right? Someone said that's a bad word. It is when you're searching for that boat space for promotion. To rank up to E5, you either have to reenlist. Oh, that one. Okay, yes. So the new order where you cannot get to sergeant until after your 4-year mark. That's when I think you're talking about, Carlos. And it affected my daughter. Same thing. She was right at the cusp of that, where she was eligible for promotion to sergeant. Then they created that rule, that policy where you have to be in 4 years re-enlist before you can pick up sergeant. So obviously at the time I didn't agree with it. And even now, not so much, I don't know if I agree with it, because there's good Marines that excel quicker than others, period. So should you be able to get to E5 in under 4 years? Yes, I think there's Marines that absolutely are ready to. And then the answer to that is, well, that's the meritorious promotions. Problem is, there's not enough meritorious promotion slots to keep up with the awesome Marines that should be sergeant before 4 years. My 2 cents. So does it make Marines try harder? Does it make them try to get stronger? Does it make them try to do everything in their power to get on that meritorious board? Sure. But what if you happen to be in an awesome unit at that time that has many just like you? So it's tough. So my thoughts on that particular policy, I think they, again, planned in a box. Did they get enough people in on that planning group? Did they get to the ground forces, the platoon sergeants, the first sergeants, company gunnies, the ones who deal with those Marines day in and day out? Or was this planned at the top, by the top, without reaching down and asking, is this a good idea? Right? Same with the policy we talked about last time, those contractors. The contractors in the intelligence field, not the intelligence, what field is that? The contractors are going to make automatic gunnies. Yeah, I don't remember what. The cyber world. It's a new policy that they're getting ready to roll out, if they haven't already started, rolling out to where the civilian community, we're going to bring them into the Marine Corps to assist with their knowledge. They got all kinds of, they got degrees and classes and knowledge. And we need that kind of information. We need that kind of experience in the Marine Corps. So they're going to bring civilians in. Poof, you're a gunny. And they're going to work in that industry to improve our capabilities. Again, improving our capabilities, keeping up with the times, all about it. The need to make them gunnies and put a uniform on them and give them gunnery sergeant rank and responsibilities, wrong. Contractors, that's what a contractor is. Those experts, those duty experts, and it happens all the time. Afghanistan and Iraq were full of contractors, prior service Marines, got out doing the job that they are extremely good at, but they're doing it as a contractor. They're wearing civilian clothes. And again, some of them do get authorized to carry weapons, some don't, depending on what their job is. and how far forward they're going. All about it. Contractors, they don't need to be a Marine in Marine uniform if they've gotten out or if they've never served. And the biggest one, again, they didn't go to boot camp or OCS. They didn't earn the right to wear the uniform, call themselves a Marine. Thanks, Jared. Thank you guys covering those trolls on there. Always funny, but they're on the channel, so like it. You're here. I like the ones that say, "Give it up, man. You're not a Marine anymore." Well, one, I am a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine, and you're here too. So, thanks for joining us. So, automatic E7, absolutely no way. Anderson Ho, I'm with you. I can't believe that. That was a post, I saw on LinkedIn, and most people were like, no way, what are you thinking about? Are you crazy? Why would you do that? And the guy who posted it was trying, again, to justify it, and it just, there was no solid foundation. Just made me think that, one, he wasn't a Marine, or Marines didn't think of this, or E7 and below had no input on this. Because what it takes to become a gunnery sergeant in the United States Marine Corps is nothing it's hard work and dedication, and you have to be good. You have to be better than good to reach the rank of the gunny, man. The gunny does everything. So to just give someone that rank, responsibility, uniform, and that's what someone's saying. How can I task this gunny to do something? I have a task I need to send a gunnery sergeant to. It's requiring a gunnery sergeant billet. You have 5 gunnies in your unit. You send that one that's a civilian, and he's going to represent. There's just so many things that could go wrong. Wow. All right. Michael's Drones, RCs, and Knives. Welcome, brother. Great to see you. So glad you're here. Adam Midori, Scott Cheek. I had fight, scratch, bleed, sweat to earn my gunny stripes. I'm telling Scott, again, why didn't they ask you when they come up with this idea that they're going to hand these men and women who are experts in their field, all about it. We have to change with the times. We have to keep up with the changes in their line of work. Got it. Keep us competitive, right? Keep us mission oriented. All the right reasons we need those people to enhance our capabilities. I'm all about it. They can do it in jeans and a polo. It represents their company, right? And they can grow beards and tattoos, whatever they want to do. They're not wearing the uniform. Interesting, and I think it's already out. I think it's already happening. It's going to happen, so stand by for that. Engineers up, Michael's Drones. Engineers with a backbone. 190331. Justin, good to see you, brother. Doc, you know it. They need to be contractors only. I'm with you, Scott. Slip Knot Skater 3437. 0311. Infantry, you made it. Good to see y'all. Again, welcome everybody. Haven't even asked yet, have I? What's everyone drinking tonight? Coffee for me again. Had my water all morning. Worked out this morning. Hit a little post on, I did a short on training this morning. I've been getting up early, traveling. Your time is all off. Jet lag sets in. So I was up at 3 again, and sat around. I had to wait for the gym to open at 4, actually 4:30. Finally made my way over there.
Speaking of which, they're going to start opening gyms 24 hours.
24-hour gyms? Where?
Marine Corps bases.
All Marine Corps bases?
I don't know if it's Navy or Marines doing it.
Hearing some scuttlebutt. They're going to start opening all gyms on Marine Corps bases?
I don't know if it's Army or Navy.
Army or Navy. Navy doesn't have gyms. Just kidding. Air Force, 24 hours. That'd be great, 24 hours. The one here is 0430. That's good. And again, it's already. If you saw my last two posts, 430. I thought I'd be the only one in there. There's already a couple dozen people. It's great, Marines, and civilians, and contractors, and it really did, huh? It did. It gave me hope that we still got some bad you-know-whats out there, some big dudes in there, some physically fit men and women. So I'd love to see it. It kind of motivated me just to make sure I make it back every morning while I'm here. But it was good. I talked this morning about CrossFit. CrossFit versus just lifting weights. I know in combat you kind of make some stuff up. You gotta get those Flintstone gyms, and you're lifting barbed wire and ammo cans and anything you can. A lot of cardio. You're doing a lot of patrols. Weights, if you're lucky. If you're infantry, you're out. So you got to create your own gym, if you will. If you're back at the big bases where they have chow halls and Starbucks and McDonald's and all that crap, there's usually pretty good gyms on those bases as well. But if you're out there, you gotta work it. You get stuff sent to you, straps to do the, what was it? Something mentioned this morning. I can't remember. Flex something, bands, do all kinds of stuff. So my post this morning though was about CrossFit, because in this gym I've been going to is there's all kinds of CrossFit gear and equipment. I've seen it over the years, and I've done a little bit of it. But some stuff I don't even know what it is, what you would do with it. Of course, the kettlebells and the medicine balls and the different shaped bars and the boxes you jump up. It's a butt kicker, no doubt. I'm not doubting it whatsoever, but I'm the old-fashioned slapping some cold steel around, some dumbbells and big plates, and just, the Arnold Schwarzenegger type. So it was a big change for me. In my cardio, I love to run. Not great at it, but I like to run. That's my cardio. But mixing those two together, especially doing that, Jared said, just don't get caught doing Pilates. Noted. I've done some yoga before to try it out, to try and stretch out my body. I had the sweatband on, right? Richard Simmons type workout. Not for me. But the HIIT courses, right? The physical trainers, they can put you through some stuff where you want to die. That Murph, things like that, that is a CrossFit type workout. And that seriously kicked my butt. I was sore for a week. Couldn't work. Luckily I was traveling. I didn't have the opportunity. So it gave me a chance to rest. So not knocking it. And well, my question was, should you or can you, or is it a good idea to mix them both together? And that's what someone said. I think you did 3 days CrossFit, 2 days weights, whatever it is, you know what works for your body, and you can thrash yourself. So as long as you know how to do it, there's videos. That's why I never really got into watching a video and having someone telling me what to do. I know how to thrash myself, right? When I feel like I'm gonna die. Look at, who is Richard Simmons? Showing my age there. You must be young, Eli, 75. Richard Simmons is good to go. Do it again. Devil Dogs, yes, Michael's Drones. I've been up since 6:30 this morning, ran my mile, did 50 push-ups. That's all what it's all about, Michael's Drones. Anyone trying to grow a channel, let us know. Support each other. Michael's Drones, RCs and knives. If you're not subscribed to his channel yet, subscribe. You know, I always get a shout out. If you're anyone growing a channel right now, let us know right now. We'll all subscribe to you. We got to support each other. This is how we do it, through a community like this. Support each other. Put your channel up and let us know. We want to subscribe to everyone. We want to share the knowledge, the wealth, whatever you do. We want to support you. Simmons, Carlos says, what is your best welfare or warfare advice on younger generations joining the Marine Corps so they can be responsible money saver grinders at the right way to not get framed? Might be a couple misspellings in there. Welfare? Oh, if you're on welfare, younger generations, you don't have a lot of money?
No, just welfare advice, general welfare.
Oh, general welfare for younger.
And well-being.
So in well-being, and that is thanks to my support team over there. That's what this channel is all about, Carlos. And did a couple shorts on places to look out for, the car dealerships, right? Outside every base is a car dealerships. E1 and up, finance you today, 27% interest rate, E1 and up. You're a private, you're a PFC on your own for the first time, you're getting a steady paycheck, you got money, people are there to take advantage of you. So be careful. The credit cards, interest rates, again, 25%, you don't know. Check with your chain of command. Get with your staff NCOs and officers and let them help you before you make any big purchase. Save money. Here's another tip that I wish somebody would have told me, and they probably did actually, I just wasn't listening. Every time you get promoted, you save the extra money. You get promoted, you get more money. So for ease of numbers, say you're a private, you get promoted PFC, you get a $100 pay raise a month. Take that $100 and put it in a savings account. You didn't have it yesterday, so you don't need it. You can live without it. Put that in there. Same thing, PFC to Lance Corporal, because it increases as you go. And every time you get promoted, put the extra pay. And then, I mean, you know, do the math. There might be times because you might have a family by now. It is time to buy a car. You are going to make some purchases, but save money. Put in a good savings account. Try to find one that does pay better interest than Navy Fed, although we love Navy Fed. Find something that pays a good interest rate and just store that money away. Again, you didn't have it yesterday, you got promoted, now you have it, tuck it away and just save. Be disciplined, be patient. Single Marines, eat at the chow hall. If you don't eat at the chow hall, you're paying twice for that meal. They take money out of your paycheck for the chow hall. Although now I think you scan your ID card. So maybe that offsets it. Either way, a Happy Meal at McDonald's is you're paying much more than what you would at the chow hall, and the chow hall is good. I don't care who you are and what you say. Those of you that complain about the chow hall food, there's always something good. Does it get monotonous maybe after a little while towards the end of the fiscal year or something? They got to clean out the reefers every now and then. It's still good. So use the chow hall. Use the chow hall, those of you that are single. All right, I leave the 17th for boot camp. I just missed the end of that. Put it back up there, please. Those of you going to boot camp, he said he's leaving on the 17th, June 17th. Stay with us. Watch the videos. Ask questions. This is the time when we do the lives. Wednesdays and Sundays, we go live at 1900. That's 7 o'clock for you Air Force people. 1900 Wednesdays and Sundays, we're going live. And this is the community that can help you succeed in boot camp, OCS, whatever you're starting out, all the services. I think we probably give advice for all the services can help you in any boot camp that you go to. Carlos says, one example of advice passed to me, keep your government credentials to yourself and do not share it to public eye organizations collecting it for that 10 to 15% military courtesy benefit discounts. Trust nobody. Carlos, you're absolutely right. Trust nobody. Again, secure all your stuff. And everything's gathered. Everything is gathered on everything that you do, everything you sign up for, and you'll start getting that mail. Credit cards. Again, the dealerships out in town, outside every base. The furniture shops, those of you getting married. You have to be very, very careful and talk to your staff NCOs and officers. That's what they're there for. They've done it. They've been through it. They probably have been ripped off before as well. So discuss it. Don't go on there's no reason to do it on your own, especially for the first time. So I was Okinawa, first time, PFC, steady paycheck, just going out, spending all my money on beer. Why would I not? That's what everyone else was doing. Until a staff NCO said, hey, let me show you the gym. There's a gym on base. There's stuff to do on base. Quit going out in town, buying that food crap, eat at the chow hall, go to the gym, save your money. Saved me a lot of money. Doc says, easy. Eli, Stay focused, kick ass, learn it, live it, and love it. All right. Nice one, Doc. Awesome. Carlos, thank you, brother. Some great questions, man. Thank you for being here. This is good information for the whole. Had a fellow Marine go get money with my card. Oh, man. So, good one, Gen X. Never give your ATM card to a buddy, your battle buddy, your ride or die. Give him your PIN. Have him get you money out. Nothing ever turns out good. If there's a good story that you've never been burned by a buddy, I hope so. Hope there are those ride or dies out there. But again, as a first sergeant, excuse me, as a sergeant major dealing with those admin situations like that, too many times, well, I just gave my credit card so he can go get money. He needed to borrow 20 bucks. Gave him my room key. Let him know where. Never. You're not being a bad friend by not helping a buddy out. You're protecting yourself. Or go to the ATM yourself. Get him 20 bucks. And when I say give him 20 bucks, that's what you're doing. Don't expect it back. Hopefully you get it back. Hopefully he is borrowing it. Try and stay away from that. Dylan Castleberry, my Marines. Being a Marine is a choice. Being a Marine veteran is an honor. Michael's Drones, RCs, and Knives. Semper Fi, brother. Jared, knowledge is power. You can never know too much, Eli. Read as much as you can muster. 100% valid. Great tip, Jared. Read. Continue learning. I learn every time we do a live, I'm learning something from all of you. That's what this community is all about. And then write it down. Take notes. Get a journal. Write it down. Take notes. Read it later. I always forget many things. Eli, if you have any bills, make sure you arrange for them to be paid through auto pay. Definitely never get behind. Taxes, make sure you do your taxes on time. Have someone do it for you. Carlos said, I had an estimate of 750 credit score and the Marines at 18. 1 year in the service, I passed intelligence, but not anyone listened to me. That 750 is a great credit score, and yes, you can maintain that. And you should be able to. Best moment in boot camp is getting our E-Globe and Anchor, the Warrior Breakfast. Yes, sir. 30 to 40 minutes a night to study knowledge, says Eli 75. Good on you. It's always been my goal. I got a huge library of books. I want to read more. All right. John McJunkin, good to see you, brother. Just got online after Wi-Fi outage here. Evening, brother. Glad you made it. Pray for the Wi-Fi to stay up the whole time. Ira says, how many sets do you do per muscle each week? 4 sets, 4 different exercises, 4 reps. 10, 8, 6, 4, something like that, depending on how I feel. All right, great information. Again, those of you on your way to boot camp, great information. Can't stress enough being here, learning all you can, ask the questions. That's what this community is all about. Also for active duty, keeping us up to breast with things that are going on currently. A lot of changes. We're in a weird state right now in the U.S., so you got to keep us abreast of what's going on. And then all of our retirees, love having you, hearing about how it used to be. So stay with us, right? Pass it on. Pass along the channel. Let your friends know. Subscribe, like, share it. Military members, not just Marines. Of course, we're a little Marine biased here. But share with everybody. Would love seeing other branches of service on here. Teriyaki 123. What's your diet looking like? Yeah, I don't eat that great, to be honest with you. That's why I got to work out at least once a day, if not twice. But I need to get a better eating habit. I like to eat. Does it look like I'd turn down any food? I love to eat. All right. Here's another question I wanted to pose in the short. Maybe I still will, for those of you that don't watch the shorts, but I asked about what is your weapon of choice? I wanted to ask about what is your vehicle of choice, and specifically in the air, helicopters. Actually, my son-in-law asked me about helicopters the other day. I don't know what we were watching or if we saw some fly over or something. He's like, wow, man, did you spend a lot of time on helicopters? And no one's ever asked that like that. And yes, a lot of time. He said, how'd you feel about it? I don't know if I was more afraid of crashing or I was happy I was getting a ride and didn't have to walk. But I have been in some very close calls. Landing on ship is always scary, especially at high seas. A couple of shaky landings. I was a helo company when I was with 3-3, so we flew, or no, 2-5. We're the helo company, so we flew everywhere. 46s primarily. I like the 53s, the CH-53, the shitter is what they call it. Huge, love it. It's big, loud, like everything about it. Fits more Marines. So I love the 53. I like the 46s. Again, they're quicker in and out, maybe a little better. They can land on a lot more surfaces. A lot of times we couldn't land it in a 53, snow. It would sink too low, muddy terrain, can't see because it's so heavy. So you would sink in. But of the two, if I had a choice and conditions were optimal, I'd definitely pick a 53. Love it. Then the addition of the Osprey. Do you like the Osprey? And some of you old timers may have never been in one. I like the Osprey. I like everything about it. And I know there's been some crashes. There's been some stuff flying out of the back. That was just us getting used to using them, flying them. And I think you had some pilots kind of showboating a little bit, how it lifts up and takes off. Some stuff has been known to slide out the back. We had some in 3-3 items slid out because it wasn't secured. I liked it though. I liked the Osprey as well. Still, at the end of the day, prefer a 53. Super Stein around. Yep. Favorite vehicle. So, Army Airborne. Airborne leads the way. Good to see you, brother. Sheridan Armored Reconnaissance Airborne Assault Vehicle. Awesome. So wheeled vehicles or tracked vehicles. We don't have tanks anymore. And I don't even know all the names of the new vehicles as they're coming in Afghanistan. My first deployment, second deployment, Desert Storm, high-back Humvees. We didn't even have armored Humvees. We filled sandbags and put them on the bottom of the Humvee, which made it even less room inside of a Humvee. And even in the soft back, high back Humvees, it was all stacked with sandbags. So now there's even less room. Obviously upgraded to the armor Humvees with still a little less room. Poked a hole in the ceiling for the gunner. So we've come a long way with our wheeled vehicles as well. I don't remember what they're called. Humvees are a whole lot higher, bigger, more durable. Still fit 5 in the Humvee. The Buffalo, I remember, was 6 to 8 Marines in the back. Again, it gets kind of cramped in there once you start loading it up. All your gear and equipment depends on how long you're going to be out. If you're like with the jump, for instance, the headquarters team, when we go out, we'd be gone for a week or 2 at a time. So you're bringing a lot of gear with you. It gets kind of cramped in there. Still get blown up. Obviously, you've seen the videos. You have friends that have been blown up in vehicles, so they're not bulletproof. Well, they're bulletproof. They're not IED proof 100%. Depends. But I think a lot of our vehicles have come a long way as well. But flying vehicles, definitely the 53. On the ground, I like I can't remember what the regular Humvee, the 5-seater, if anybody remembers what that one's called. MRAPs. MRAPs look pretty comfortable, though it's after my time. So the MRAPs, was that the first one? The MRAPs, they are comfortable. Even the seats, now the seats are a lot more comfortable. Suspension, I'm sure, is that much better. That makes it that much more comfortable. ACs in them. The AC didn't always work when you needed it to. But they definitely are more comfortable, more durable, safer. I had to drive on occasions. I'm sure they're much more comfortable, easier to drive. Dropped a couple in canals. Never fun to get them out. But they're safer and bigger, stronger, feel a lot more secure inside. MRAPs, Buffalo. And I know there's a couple more. All right, Carlos, back here again. What do you got, Carlos? Another question? Did I miss? I wasn't looking at comments. Did I miss some of the favorite helicopters? What was the consensus? Eli 75, I got to go. Thank you, Sergeant Major, and thank you, everyone else. Have a pleasant evening. You as well, Eli. Thanks for being here. Stop back and see us Wednesdays, Saturdays, 1900. Sundays, Wednesdays and Sundays. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. John McJunkin. Only wish our Corps would have some of the dune buggies that the Navy SEALs got using the Gulf War. We do have the dune buggies. Who has them and how often they're used, I don't know that, but we have some. Motorcycles. We have motorcycles. We even had some in Desert Storm, the Couriers, primarily. I want to think the MPs have those. But you're right, it should be more of them. It should be more organic to the infantry battalions, maybe. Imagine if the company gunny had a dune buggy, killing it. Be doing that much more, getting that much more supplies for you. Get that bug juice out to you. Get them hot wets, coffee. Doc says, Eli, remember, if you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. I like it. Always shoot for number one. D-Day anniversary, Michael's Drones, RCs, and Knives. D-Day anniversary. Again, it's on LinkedIn is where I get my information. And there is a lot. There's, I can't remember the reporter's name. Not a reporter, he's a congressman or something, Marine. He's at Omaha Beach. Today he posted it, so he must be there today. It's all built up now, but he saw the beach itself and just amazing. Probably if you visited Iwo Jima, same thing, just walking on that beach, imagining what they went through. We did talk about it last time, the D-Day ceremony. Did that ever happen? The ceremony that they were going to use Marines and French soldiers to do the commemoration ceremony. And again, I thought that was odd that they would use Marines for that when Marines weren't at D-Day. It was an Army thing. So why would they use Marines to commemorate it?
It's Friday.
Is it Friday? Yeah, today's the 5th. Might be on the 6th. Tomorrow. John McJunkin says we're still using the old Jeeps in 81, 82, 83, up to 84. So there still is Jeeps, and here's one of our dogs right here. This is Gracie, if you can see her. A blue Doberman, she's beautiful. And that's all I'll say about her. She's a good dog, she's funny. The Jeeps, John McJunkin. So when I first came in, we still had a couple Jeeps in somewhere, phasing them out, of course, but as a young PFC private in PFC in Okinawa, we even had the opportunity to move a bunch of them from to Naha Port, so we got to drive them down the road. That was pretty cool. The Gamma Goat, I heard everyone loved the Gamma Goat. That was a flatbed, right? Just two people drove. It used to haul stuff. Those are some good old school vehicles. MDH, good to see you, brother. Just saw your post on CrossFit. If you can, find First Sergeant Kelly Murphy, USMC retired, and get in touch with him. He was Mark Cordet, FLW's CrossFit guru. He got us back in 2010, Semper Fi. So First Sergeant Kelly Murphy. All right, we'll check it out. MDH. CrossFit. I was thinking of Murph, as in the Murph, Lieutenant Murphy. But definitely will. First Sergeant Kelly Murphy. Will you write that down? See, I got to write everything down. I'll forget it. CrossFit guru. I'm sure he can thrash some bodies in CrossFit. Jared, we had a few multi-fuels in our Motor T in the early 90s. Multi-fuels? What are those? Something else we did in Desert Storm as engineers, amongst building hundreds of strong backs, decking. I won't say who it was for the Air Force. Everyone else was sleeping in sand, filling sandbags, building bunkers. We even worked with bulk fuel for a while. So we got to see all the way pumping gas. So the fuelers can do the other important fueler stuff. We were gas station attendants. But it was cool to see all the different vehicles come through, other countries too. Got a good idea of both fuelers bust their butt building a fuel farm. That ain't no joke. Humping all that hose around, and big bladders. It was a butt kicker. You'll be surprised at how many Medal of Honor personnel are in these chats. This chat here, Carlos, you'll be surprised how many Medal of Honor personnel are in this chat. We have Medal of Honor recipients in this chat. Let us know who they are. Now, I guess if they want to be heard or seen, they'll let us know. Deuce and a half that ran on gas and diesel or anything that would burn. Multi-fuelers. It's old school. Deuce and a half, 5 tons, then 5 tons moved to 7 tons. We've come a long way with vehicles. Again, changing with the times. We got to. Everyone else is, right? And it's all for the better, right? Change is good when it makes sense, and you are keeping up with the times. Mission accomplishment. That's our number one task. So we always got to be ready. So can you imagine taking a Jeep into combat now? Funny, again, in Desert Storm. Here's a Desert Storm story for you. Engineer. We're in charge of breaching the lanes. Remember, there's hundreds of miles of minefields. And it was about 100 to 200 yards thick, but it was hundreds of miles wide. So as engineers, we'd roll up to the minefield because they were marked, fence on both sides, just like the Geneva Convention says, even signs in English and, I don't know, Farsi, whatever, Iraqi, that said mines. So we knew exactly where they were. And intel was good. Everybody knew where the minefields were. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of mines inside that belt of minefields. Thousands. I mean, sometimes you could see them. When the wind blew, it'd blow the sand and it would uncover them. Then the wind would blow the other way and cover them back up. So it was tough to tell where they were. We were probing, right? We had different kinds of, they have awesome probers now that are a plastic, that thick Kevlar material, plastic. We didn't have that. We had our K-bars back then. Not a good idea to probe with the K-bar. We ain't Rambo. They have some metallic mines. That's all we had at the time. We did have a Marine's mom sent us a few hundred knitting needles, those big, long plastic knitting needles. The tip was metal. We just cut those off. So now we're plastic. So those helped out a great deal. But as we'd pull up to the minefields, we would fire off a line charge, a linear charge, which attached to a rocket. We'd fire the rocket over the minefield. It would pull this big sausage link of C4 blocks, 350 pounds of C4. Boom, land on the minefield. We'd blow it up, boom, blew a lane in the minefield. Of course, it wasn't secured yet because sometimes it would just blow mines to the side. They'd still be armed. They didn't always blow up. Then we go through and probe, make sure it was a clear lane. I'm getting to a story. A Jeep came through with some reporters. The lane wasn't proofed all the way. It was proofed enough to walk through, and that's when the infantry would walk through and get on the other side and secure the other side of the the minefield. Perfect setup. And then once we proofed it wide enough for vehicles, then of course the Humvees and the tanks and everything else would go through. A Jeep pulled up, an old school Vietnam era Jeep pulled up. Two Army guys, they had flak-in helmets. Remember, we didn't have Kevlar back then. We didn't have the SAPI plates, but a Kevlar vest and helmet. And two reporters in the back. And we told them, stop, no, we can't. It's not secured yet. You know, you have to go wait on there. That one's secured, this one's not. Well, we're ready to go through now. We got to get to the other side. We got to start reporting. Kept telling them no. They went anyway. They did blow up. They didn't die. It was a small anti-personnel mine, perhaps, and blew a tire off the Jeep. But the Jeep did not survive at all. Inoperable. Now, thank you very much. Now we have an obstacle in the way. Now we have to proof all around it. Just created a bigger mess than it already was. So no, Jeeps cannot survive in today's warfare. Ain't no way. You want to make a comment to these guys? Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Jared. Era. Semper Fi, my friends. Era. The CrossFit. Again, I still have a lot of, I can't do all the things I want to do anyway. Little injuries here and there. Power through it. Remember the difference between injury and soreness. The Murph made me sore, but I couldn't do all the things in the Murph properly because of injuries. So know the difference. CrossFit is probably a much better thing for me about now. Okay, I still try to lift when I can, just trying to maintain, but nothing crazy. CrossFit is crazy. So those of you that do it, beast mode, do the Spartan races and all that, good on you. That's awesome. I'll stick with my nice slow run. All right. BZ, what is the wing like? Air wing. JTB, good to see you, brother. The air wing. So I did spend some time in the air wing. A little less than 2 years. Turned out to be better than what I expected. And I didn't know what to expect. I know the air wing from deployments and them coming to pick us up, drop us off, take us to the fight. I didn't know enough about I knew we called them when we needed help. Cobras came in and would clear areas, they would deliver us. So I didn't realize how hard they really work. And nothing against them, it's just a different culture. All Marines, but their living conditions are different, and it's got to be. Their mission, put it this way, the maintenance guys, the responsibility of making sure that airplane or that helicopter can fly safely and get to the fight and get back from the fight safely, protect you when you're out in the field, deliver goods when you need goods. Everything about the air wing, we could not do it without them. And the hours they work, incredible. I thought the infantry was probably definitely worked the most, the longest hours. The air wing now, again, that aircraft ain't going anywhere until the maintenance chief says it's ready to go. And he ain't saying it's ready to go until the maintainers maintain that baby and they make it so it's ready to go. So the air wing was, I whole new respect for the air wing once I spent time with the air station. Awesome Marines. Bust their butt. Every day. And that's an everyday thing. And when you hear the plane's down, right? You ain't going anywhere. Sometimes the planes go down. What I've learned about the air wing is sometimes they go down when you're in places like Dubai, Thailand, Philippines, Korea, when you're in some pretty choice duty stations or spots. The aircraft seems to go down for a couple of days. Air wing's got it right. Because they're not sleeping in the field. They're staying at hotels. They're eating hotel food. So it's good stuff. Made it 90 minutes. Commitment early tomorrow. Sent fries. Mike Smith, thank you, brother. Thanks for hanging with us. 90 minutes. Appreciate you. Get some rest. Early day tomorrow. You can get up in PT first. 1341. We were just talking about the 41s. Air wing mechs are another level, especially when it came to tool accountability. 10 millimeter sockets, all accounted for. And the ultimate set of tools that they have. Awesome. Yes. Look who's that. VA Loan Tips USA. Lock your body. You know who that might be? All right, you better be locked. Anderson Ho, the Air Wing has blue dollars, Navy funds, and their own aviation supply in addition to regular supply. Quarterly reconciliation must be very difficult. They spent some money. They definitely spent some money, again, for all the right reasons. Who wants to get in a helicopter that's been put together by duct tape? The 53s, what I do remember about the 53s is, and it's got to be true, any mechs on here, you can let us know, if it's dripping hydraulic fluid, you're good to go. That means there's still hydraulic fluid in there. If it's not dripping, it's out. Get off that baby. John McJunkin says, your input on the best and worst part of living off base, on base and off base for you and your family. Great question, John McJunkin. We were just talking about that. We kind of talk about it frequently. We want to go on a base and maybe film some stuff on base just so you can kind of check it out. So the benefits of living on base versus off base. Because base housing is free, right? That's what it feels like. They offer you a house on base, you live on base, you're not paying anybody any money, but you are. So, but you have the convenience and the luxury of, depending on what base you're on, you could walk to work, unless you're in Pendleton or Lejeune somewhere. But you have the security, especially if you're leaving your family, if you're deploying a lot, you're in the field a lot, you have the comfort of knowing that your family is safe because they live on base, a gated community, if you will, with Marines guarding the gate and civilian contractors. But it's very convenient, and your landlord is the government, so you don't see the money go anywhere. They give it to you, they take it right back out, easy, convenient, safe. If something goes wrong in your house, you call the housing guy, and he comes out and fixes it. You need light bulbs, something easy, you go, you get it. I'm telling you, it's very, very easy and convenient and comforting. Problem is, there is money there for you to use yourself. Because if you take that money and you live off base because you want to get away from base at the end of the day, and you don't want to be surrounded by Marines 24/7 or whatever branch of service you're in, you want that freedom, let your hair down and do your own thing, you rent off base. Near the base, so you're not too far. That money does go to you, and then you got to pay your landlord. Both those scenarios are very, very common. Happens all the time. Here's, at the end of the day though, when you leave PCS 3 years later, all that BAH, basic allowance for housing money, is gone. You get none of it back. You might get some of your security deposit if you live off base, but that's it. The 3 years of rent money is gone. So that's a financial take on it. If you were to buy a house off base, and we talked about this, I had a gunny, I told you he bought a house every duty station he went to. Now you're living in that house, you're living off base, if that's what you choose, you want to be away from base. Now you're paying the mortgage. You're not paying rent. So at the end of 3 years, depending on what you do, if you either you keep that house or you sell it, you're either going to make some money or break even, or again, depending on where you do it is completely on you, and every situation is different. Or you just keep it and rent it out. Now somebody else is paying your mortgage. So that 3 years of basic allowance for housing is going to something. Now, off base, you don't have the luxury of having has quick access to all the base amenities, commissary, gas station, PXs, all the sports facilities, the gyms, and you do have to go travel on and off base, up to you. Sometimes bases, I know Camp Pendleton in the morning, probably all bases in the morning, it's hectic getting on base because everyone's trying to get on base. And even in the evening, leaving, depending on your work hours, that can be a big inconvenience. But up to you. We've done both. We've lived off base. I told you Okinawa, we lived off base on purpose. We wanted to experience Japan, Okinawa. So we definitely stayed off base half the time. The other half we lived on base for the same reasons. We wanted to experience living on base, having the convenience, having the security. We had small children, everything about it. So it's a give and take. And you're going to have to find out for yourself which you prefer. Now, base housing in general has come a long way. Our first base housing experience was in Marine Corps Base, Hawaii. What was the nickname? Cockroach? It was old. It was old housing. And so they had to refurbish it every now and then, and there's problems with it. Base housing now, from the few places I've seen, have come a long way. It's usually in sections, E3 and below. NCOs have a different section, staff NCO housing, and then of course officer housing. Even officers housing is probably field grade, company grade officers all live together, field grade, and then the general officers' quarters. But again, I think they've come a long way. What are you doing over there? Oh, I had asked you a question. So again, my thoughts on it, I think base housing has come a long way. It's definitely has improved. Now we just need to get the Marines that are living in there to take care of what they're living in and don't thrash it. Barracks life. I did a short on that a while ago, the new initiative to improve the quality of life in barracks. We know of all the branches of services, we're going to be the last to get the great barracks. I've been in some, when I went to the Air Force Academy, those barracks there, which they thought were run down, was beautiful. So the quality of life, again, we know what to expect in the Marine Corps, especially in the infantry, but that's all getting better as well. So I think it's a timing thing. I think they spend years on housing it, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard it's a 10-year block. For 10 years, they work on housing for families. And then the other 10 years, they work on barracks for the single Marines. So if that's true or not, I don't know, but because about 10 years of housing, that housing starts to get run down and it needs attention again. So it sounds logical to me. Anderson says, living off base in Los Angeles was fun. 10 minutes from H Mart Korean grocery store, 20 minutes from Costco, small park down the street. So again, there's benefits to both. It depends on what you're looking for. Again, we chose specifically in Okinawa to live off base, to live with the community. Camp Pendleton, we lived on base. They had brand new housing. We moved up there. We lived off base in California also. We purchased our first home when I was at E5. That was tough, learned a lot, didn't know what we were doing, got schooled years later on how to do it the right way. So before you purchase, make sure you talk to, again, your staff NCOs who have done it and get the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, and take your time. Don't be in a rush. Now, I think we did well when we did it. And the part where we didn't know enough about is when we did PCS and having someone else rent it out for us. We didn't nail that down yet. We thought we could do it ourselves, and there's no need to. So property manager. Again, there's a lot of tricks of the trade that your staff NCOs have done it, and they're still doing it. So get with them before you make such a huge financial purchase like that. But highly recommend it. Buy early. Carlos says, I'm in active war today. What do you got, Carlos? MDH says they gave us stellar housing on Fort Leonard Wood, students and staff. Again, I think some places you can find some hidden gems somewhere out there, even on Kaneohe Bay. When we came back to Kaneohe Bay, our second time there, we were going to live off base, but they're just opening up Manana housing, built brand new housing. Again, first one to ever live in that house. Beautiful neighborhood, brand new, right? Big 2-story houses. They were great. Steph NCO housing, I think it was E8s and E9s. That whole street to ourselves. It was good. Park, pool, PX. It was nice. Kind of far from base. Didn't mind that drive. Actually, again, the hours I went in and came home, wasn't a lot of traffic, and it was I was deployed most of the time anyway. My wife just reminded me of that. I didn't spend a lot of time here. And that is the house, of all the houses we lived in, that's the one I remember the least. And that's when I was with 3rd Marines and we were always gone. Leonard Wood has a swim qual pool, don't they? Fort Leonard Wood, I'm sure they do. Army. Oh, Carlos, no worries, brother. They have a pool, but never went for a qual there. There's a military pool. You can qualify in it. You just got to have the McQuist to do it for you. All right. Talked about a lot tonight. Once again, thank you all for joining us. This is, what is it, Wednesday? One more time, look at the stickers. Check the description the links in our description. Order up. We have all these here. Let me show them. I'm going to put them over my face. How's that? Again, it's a delay, so I got to wait a minute for it. This one here, super limited. This is my favorite, but this one is super limited. This one holds near and dear to my heart. Why? Check, I'm telling you, follow this on LinkedIn. Military age male. Why are so many coming here? Why are we letting so many in? Cassette tape, old school. I like this one too. This one's a little moto. Am I covering my face? This is the designer's favorite. This one's cool. Man. And here you go, bumper sticker. Can I have one of these? I gotta pay for it? I'm gonna put them on my truck here. Those are the stickers. Check the link in the description, myshopify.com. Order up. Those we do have on hand while we are traveling. The shirts and the other merch we'll let you know as soon as we're back in the swing of things and getting that stuff out to you. But again, thank you all. Appreciate all of you. I'm telling you, more than I can say. Share this channel. Let's continue to build this community. Like-minded warriors. Remember, sit with warriors. The conversation is different. So God bless all of you. Semper Fi, my friends. Abra.